Today I'm cooking and I'm in the kitchen with my boys. Actually, my camera girl is behind the camera. But today I'm going to be cooking with my boys. I have a special request for Butterscotch Haystacks, and I only the end cook these during the holiday time, or make these during the holiday time. They're a nice sweet treat that the kids like, and sometimes we'll make them and give them away as Christmas gifts to our family and our friends. So we wanted to take you along and show you how we're going to do it. So the first thing we want to show you are the ingredients we're going to be using. We have Nestle Toll House Butterscotch morsels. This is just the 11-ounce bag. Doesn't have to be this name brand, it just has to be butterscotch. The next thing we have are chow mein noodles. You do have to have the chow mein noodles. Doesn't have to be this brand, just has to be chow mein noodles. Then we also have mini marshmallows and creamy peanut butter. So those are the ingredients that you need. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 ingredients, and it's really quick as soon as you get your butterscotch melted. So what I have going on is kind of an old-fashioned keema double broiler happening situation. I don't have the actual double broiler, so I make my own. I just take the largest pot that I have, put water into it, and then I take a regular size plastic bowl and I stick it on top of that. But I wait until my water is at a rolling boil. And I do this part, or my oldest son will do this. Baby won't actually have a part in this until we get this off of the broiler. So I'm going to switch places and let my son actually measure out. He needs 1 2/3 cups of the butterscotch. And what's happening now is the steam from the water is actually rising up and hitting the bowl, and it's going to help these chips melt. Now you can melt your morsels in the microwave if you choose. We do not so choose. So 1 cup, then an extra, and then 2/3 cups. Or pretty much 11 ounces. And so what he's going to want to do is take the rag, and you want to hold it onto the bowl, and then what he's going to do as well, switch hands, is start to stir the butterscotch. So if you can see inside of the bowl now, the butterscotch is actually starting to melt because of the steam that's coming up out of the double broiler. I may just turn it down a hair. I don't want him to get burned. Neither do I want the rag that's close to the burner to get burned either. This is why your mama always needs to be in the kitchen. But anywho, so we're actually just going to stir gingerly. Gingerly. And butterscotch is it's not the consistency of chocolate, so it does tend to be a little bit more thick, and that's why we have to hold and stir. But once you add in the creamy peanut butter, it's actually going to loosen up the butterscotch, and it'll melt a whole lot easier. Let me see. Good. All right, I'm going to take a turn. And it doesn't melt too fast, but it doesn't melt too slow either. So we're simply just using the water that's underneath, that's boiling, to help melt our butterscotch. Maybe that's a better way to hold it. That might be better. And so while that is getting melted, I'm going to have my son do 3/4 cups of the peanut butter. And he's going to put it in here while I'm still melting the butterscotch. And pack it in. There you go. That's good. Now dump it in here. So that's 1. Okay, we need 2 more of those. There we go. Here. Now he's added that into the butterscotch. It's going to help the butterscotch cream together better. So if you notice now, it's actually creaming together much easier now that we've added in the creamy peanut butter. So that's 2 quarter cups or 1/2 cup. And then 1 more 1/4 cup. So that creams together nicely when you add in the creamy peanut butter. Now, in another recipe that I saw, you could add in nuts. So if you didn't have nuts and you had crunchy peanut butter, that would work as well. So that's our 3/4 cup of creamy peanut butter. And we want to get all of that off. Now, I'm going to turn off this pan or this pot because there's plenty of steam to help that melt. Now, we're going to take 1 larger bowl. We need 3½ cups of marshmallow. Right, buddy? Okay. Here, and you can dip it in. Hold that side. Whoa. You need a whole cup. How many?
A can. How many noodles?
No. What's a can?
8.5 ounces.
Okay, so what would that be in cups? That's 1. Dump that one in. Okay. Put that in there. Whoop. Nice, Mom. That's 2 cups. That's 3. And a 1/2. Nice, as we eat them. Almost all of this. Look, let's roll. This is 12 ounces. We're going to use almost all of this. Okay, you need 8.5 to 10 ounces. So we used almost all of our 12-ounce bag. Big Brother is going to take the spatula and he's going to dump in his mixture into the chow mein noodles while it is still hot because we want to melt the marshmallows. And then he's going to start to work it around. Dump it in, pull it off, and dump it in. Scrape. Use the spatula to scrape down the sides. Get that to Grandma.
That's creamy.
Get all of it out there. Watch out, buddy. Hot, hot, hot. Okay, let's see. Did we get it all out? I actually love to be in the kitchen with all of my children. I enjoy teaching my boys how to cook because it's a very vital skill that they need, just in case the Lord tarries and sending their wife. Okay. All right, Bubba. So you're just gonna go these around.
What you mean?
Mix them around because you're trying to get the warm stuff
To
to the marshmallows so we can melt the marshmallows.
I see what you're saying.
See what I'm saying?
Yes.
We want the hot mixture, okay, as I'm going them around,
Boy, you got this back.
to melt the marshmallows. That's the whole point, without really breaking up the chow mein noodles. So I'm moving in. You're going to do that. Here, Bella. Keep mixing. The marshmallows are not melting yet, but we're prayerful that they will melt. They look like they're doing something in the neighborhood of melting. Keep working, buddy. Nice. Keep mixing. It gets a little bit tough because of the marshmallows. When it starts to melt and bind, it does tend to toughen it up. The best thing I can think of that the consistency is kind of like Rice Krispie treats, but it is keep stirring, buddy. But it's thicker. The chow mein noodles are longer, and we are really trying to break down the marshmallow. So that's what all the moving is for. We want to make sure all the chow mein noodles are well coated, but we're also trying to break down the marshmallow because we don't want to have chunks of marshmallow, but we do want to have marshmallow. And then get over there too, bud. And so you want to make sure all of that butterscotch and peanut butter is well coated. Now I will say this, if you're giving this as a gift to someone, if you're giving this as a gift to someone, you definitely want to make sure they don't have any peanut allergies or peanut butter allergies. And there very well could be a substitute for the peanut butter. I'm not exactly sure what that is because we always use peanut butter and we tell people these are butterscotch peanut butter haystacks. So they'll know ahead of time because you would hate to give it as a gift and, you know, somebody has an allergy. But the marshmallows are now starting to break down really, really well.
This is difficult.
It becomes tough when you add in the marshmallows, but if you can tell, they are starting to break down. Next time I think we'll put the chow mein noodles in last and go ahead and start to kind of mix the marshmallows with the butterscotch and peanut butter just a little bit ahead. Look, see how it's breaking down? And we're going to drop these on a cookie sheet lined with, we are using freezer paper, but parchment paper would work. Because you just don't want them to stick to your pan. And they're going to be ooey and they're going to be gooey and the kids are going to love them and mama's not eating any. Because I'm doing Weight Watcher points, so I'm not eating any of this. But I will be in the kitchen with them and give them moral support for whatever they need to learn. Okay, so we're going to transfer ourselves over to this side, which is where we have our cookie sheet. I take these 2 forks. You ready, buddy? And I'm going to just spray them with some cooking spray. Helps to keep stuff from sticking to the forks because the marshmallow is pretty much, and it's kind of solid now. So we're actually going to have to work pretty quickly. And we still do have some marshmallow chunks in there, and it is okay. I think at this point you could even add in M&Ms if you wanted to. So we're just going to take a forkful and sit them on our, we're using freezer paper. It calls for parchment paper. I've used aluminum foil. And the only thing we want to do is put them in little mounds so they do look like haystacks. And then we're going to put them in the fridge so that they can cool. And it says it should make about 24 depending on how big your son likes them. I mean the people you're giving them to. And so that's what we do, is we just put them in little mounds. And I'm going to move out of the way. And if for some reason your mound is not big enough, then just plop another little bit on top. Just because when it goes in the freezer, it's going to harden. So I'm going to plop out of the way and let the boys jump back in. And finish those up. They are not cookies. No. They are kind of like Rice Krispie treats without the Rice Krispies, but just a different type of a crunchy. The chow mein noodles are crunchy, so it's gonna form like a hardened glaze after. No. It's gonna form like it's gonna harden up like chocolate would, but the noodles will still be crunchy, which is why I didn't want to put them back in the microwave, because I didn't want to destroy the crunch. But my son and I have my nephew, and then I have another friend who really loves these, and they could eat them just like you can eat them straight out the bowl, but we like to put them in the fridge and let them kind of really solidify, because it holds together better. And then hold the bowl, buddy. Help brother. Really though?
What?
This is what happens when my son makes them. They're twice as big as I make them.
Mom, what you mean?
And I'm gonna let little brother jump in and help as well. Here, Bella, I'll give you a plate. You can have a plate.
Gotta eat good around here.
I know. You can work yours with a plate. Let me just spray your forks, bud. So I had these on special request because I didn't even make them this year. I try not to make them because I do tend to eat them. So, but the boys, everybody I've made them for has had good things to say. And you can really smell the butterscotch. There you go, buddy. Use that fork too. Because right now they're really kind of a little bit falling apart. Good, good. But as we put them in the freezer and let them, in the fridge and just let them solidify. Wait. They won't fall apart anymore. They're still warm because of the butterscotch and the peanut butter. They're still pretty warm. So, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Really? What are you doing? Too big. Let me see. The warmer it is, the longer it will take for them to really set up and solidify. And so what we want to do is, as quickly as possible, get them in the fridge. And actually, if you butter sprayed your hand, you could actually just hand dip them out. Rub them together. You want to use your hands too, buddy? Good. Yeah. Put them to, yeah, like that. Too big, too much. Peel some off. So this is what they look like. This just before we put them in the fridge, and again we put them on paper so that they wouldn't stick. Now when these dry, you'll have to peel them off of the bottom of the paper, and then you can put them in a bowl or a jar or whatever, and they can actually just be eaten that way. But we're gonna put these in the freezer, in the fridge, for about 20 minutes, and just let that butterscotch set up. And so this is what it looks like. So thank you for stopping by our channel and cooking with us today, and we'll see you next time we cook. Bye.